So this initial very interesting and compelling observation by Christine Zedrew led to other studies, such as this one. Very simple study. Everyday people brought in and told, don't eat breakfast, we'll provide you with lunch and dinner. And white bars is lunch and then dinner, calories taken in. So you can see about 1,000 calories for lunch and about, what, 800 calories for dinner? Same nice everyday people brought back sometime later, another day. This time, same deal, no breakfast, but they get pre-injected with the opiate-blocking drug naloxone. And then once again, sit down, go ahead, have lunch, eat all you want, go ahead, have dinner, eat all you want. Calories at lunch is what, 700 calories, calories at dinner, about 700 calories. Total calorie intake reduced by about 500 to 600 calories if you're injected with an opiate-blocking drug. Okay? This has been done in a lot of other settings. There's a very peculiar study in binge eaters. You know what binge eating is? It's people who can't stop. They just eat, and often will purge, right? So these people, this is evil, but these poor binge eaters were one at a time put in a room, and in this room is a table full of cupcakes, pies, and cakes. And the instructions were, go ahead. And so they would eat, and calories quantified, okay? Same person brought back sometime later. This time, same thing as this study on the screen, given an injection of this opiate-blocking drug, naloxone. This time, dramatic reduction in interest in calorie intake for the cakes, pies, and cookies. Okay? So this kind of study has been performed over and over and over, that if we give people opiate-blocking drugs, we have a decrease in interest in food and a decrease in calorie intake. By the way, a drug company filed its application to the FDA in the US about 15 months ago for the drug naltrexone. Naltrexone is the oral equivalent of naloxone. It's already on the market because naltrexone is taken by heroin addicts. Heroin addicts take it to block their return to heroin, the high. Now, this company has filed an application for naltrexone as a weight loss drug because in their clinical trials, participants lost 22 pounds of weight by cutting calorie intake by about 400 calories per day. Okay? So wheat, the gliadin protein in wheat is an opiate, and we have reasonable data at least suggesting a link to appetite. Now, I see this play out, by the way. So I do this on purpose, of course. I take wheat out of the diet. What happens? You go through withdrawal. So if I deprive a heroin addict of heroin, they go through a very violent withdrawal. If I take an OxyContin addict off his OxyContin, he has a terrible withdrawal. If you take a wheat-consuming human off wheat, they have an opiate withdrawal. Not everybody gets it. About a third of people who stop wheat will get a withdrawal. It's fatigue, sleepiness, low mood, sadness, even depression, cannot exercise, sometimes overwhelming cravings, and lasts variably, usually 3 to 5 days, occasionally longer, as long as several weeks, thankfully rare. It will not harm you. You may be miserable. You may have a hard time functioning at work or school, but you will get beyond it, and when you get beyond it, you feel wonderful. But it's a very distinct syndrome. And if you give a person naltrexone, by the way, as I have done, you get a similar phenomenon. You get withdrawal. So taking naltrexone is not a lot of fun because it provokes an immediate withdrawal. But once you're beyond that withdrawal effect, people will tell you very, very consistently, very reliably, you know, it's funny. I stopped the bread, I felt awful. I was nauseated and tired, I couldn't exercise for about 5 days, and then I felt wonderful. I hadn't felt like that in 20 years. I have all this energy, that funny rash I had cleared up, and I'm not hungry. I have my low-carb 3-egg omelet for breakfast at 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. I'm wondering if I missed lunch because I don't really care. Compare that, by the way, to a breakfast of shredded wheat cereal at 7 a.m., hungry at 9, looking for a snack like low-fat wheat thins, hungry again at 11, watching the clock to see if it's lunchtime, having lunch, right, a low-fat turkey breast on whole grain bread. 2 o'clock, you're sleepy. You're starting to get hungry again. In other words, there's this constant, incessant need for food. What do the nice dietitians tell us to do? Eat many small meals every 2 hours. So you'll see, with removal of wheat, an unexpected reduction in appetite of about 440 calories per day. So if I add this opiate to your diet and use it as an appetite stimulant, calorie intake goes up, on average, 440 calories per day. Okay? Now, as Denise Minker would point out to me, hey, that's not causation. I mean, that's just an association. That's not causation, right? So, but what happened? Let's just look at what happened to Americans who were told to eat more healthy whole grains, particularly the gliadin protein from the high-yield semi-dwarf plant. What happened to our calorie intake? Calorie intake went up 440 to 570 calories per day, every day, 365 days per year. And for a lot of people, it's actually a lot more than that because that includes children. So us big kids probably took in more than that. What happens if I make you eat 440 more calories per day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year? You gain a bunch of weight. If we followed a simple calories in, calories out, which we don't, of course, but if we did, equation, you would gain 45.8 pounds in 1 year. So what happens to people exposed to the appetite stimulation of this opiate? They start to panic. They start to say things like, oh man, I've gained 8 pounds in the last 2 months. I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to have less fat. I'm going to push the plate away, smaller portion sizes, skip, right? They do all these things, and they cannot understand why at the end of that first year they've gained 12 pounds. So in reality, they succeeded, right? Because they could have gained a lot more, but they fought it down to about 12 pounds or whatever because they're being fed this appetite stimulant. 1970, you go to the grocery store. Where's wheat? Rolls, bread, right? Obvious places. 2012, where's wheat? Everywhere. Everywhere. Twizzlers, salad dressing, instant soup, Campbell's tomato soup. Why? Well, I can't tell you exactly why. It must be necessary for taste and texture. I think it's there because we had, this is my raw speculation. I think it's there because smart food scientists said 25 years ago, hey, there's something weird going on. You notice when we bring these nice people into our food test kitchens and we give them our new products, they can't stop. They ask for more, and they ask for more, and ask for more. So I think smart food scientists knew this 25 years ago. And rather than saying, hey, we better warn everybody that there's something funny, and we think it's in the wheat flour, and watch out, this thing stimulates appetite. Rather than saying that, they said, shh, don't tell anybody. Put it in everything.